all through this week, as you go on through this month, through your time at work, when the devil is facing you with so much challenges, remind the devil, God is not finished with you yet. God is not finished with me yet. God is not finished with your family yet. God is not finished with your wife, with your husband, with your kids. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on them. Don't give up. God is not finished with you yet. The word of the day is forgiveness. Have you ever been or found yourself in a situation where you can't just let go? Thinking of the hurt, thinking of the pain, thinking of the perpetrator, how they hurt us, thinking of the sin that was committed, how we were violated to some of us, maybe cheated. Have you ever asked yourself why it's just so difficult to let go? Forgiveness is releasing yourself or releasing the person from your heart, that person that hurt you so bad, that person that did something. You can't find any reason in this world to forgive the person. And sometimes when you think about it, it doesn't just make sense forgiving this person. I may not know how much of the pain you felt or you're feeling right now, but there's the good news. Forgiveness is for you first. Forgiveness is first beneficial to you before even the other person. That's the first thing I want to draw out. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is you releasing the person. Because when you don't forgive someone, anytime you think about that issue, you are down. Anytime you see that person, you are down. Anytime you remember anything associated with that person that hurts you, it brings you down. Forgiveness is actually releasing yourself from that bondage, releasing yourself from the slavery, releasing yourself from the slave master. When you refuse to forgive someone, that person takes dominion over you, over your heart, over your thought process. Forgiveness is for you. Another thing I want to say is that forgiveness is a decision. Some people say forgiveness is a process. No, the healing is a process. Healing from that hurt is a process. Healing from that injury, from that sin, from that broken heart is a process. But forgiveness itself is not a process. It's not something that gradually happens. It's something that takes decision. It's your choice. Forgiveness depends on you. Forgiveness is for you. It's more beneficial for you to forgive. It's not a process. It's a decision that you have to make. Maybe how you reach that decision may be a process, depending on where you are in the state of life. But forgiveness is a decision. Don't let us get crapped up in that excuse to say, oh, it's a process, it's things that will work out itself. No, until you take that decision to forgive that person, you are not ready. And forgiveness is something that has to happen now. Not something you postpone. Not something you say, oh, maybe tomorrow, maybe next tomorrow. You don't postpone forgiveness except you don't want to forgive. Forgiveness has to happen now. Forgiveness doesn't mean tolerating that abuse. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to keep that thing, that person. You have to keep the person in your life. Forgiveness means you have to release the issue. You have to let it go. What is it that you're struggling with? What is that issue? You can't just let go. Is it your mom that sinned against you? Is it your dad? Maybe your parents, either step-parents or something. Is it even your wife or your husband? Maybe your kids. Maybe your pets. Maybe even the country as a whole. You can't just let go. And every time you think about it, it just creates depression. It creates anxiety. It changes your mood. Forgiveness is for you. You have to release yourself from the slave master. You have to decide. And the decision is now. You have to let go so that you can live your life. One thing that has helped me, that I always look up to in issues of forgiveness, when it comes to forgiveness, is I look up to Christ on the cross of Calvary. Even while he was being nailed, even while he was being put to death, even through that pain, through that agony, he could still find excuse for these people. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Or they know not what they are doing. And that brings the question, how do I forgive? I've had you, but how do I forgive? It starts with changing your perspective about forgiveness. You have to change your perspective. You have to know that it's not a process, it's a decision. You have to know it's not tomorrow, it's now. You have to understand that forgiveness is not for the person that hurt you, it's for you. Until you change your perspectives, it may be very difficult for you to let go. And if you don't let go, if you keep wallowing in that unforgiveness, it may result in embittering your life. When that bitterness grows, it grows into revenge and rage. And what it will just be looking for at that moment is opportunity to strike. And when you you latch onto that opportunity to strike against the person that hurt you or that sinned against you, you ruin your life. It destroys you. Forgiveness is for you. You may even be the one that needs to forgive yourself. So you need to forgive yourself. Maybe you've done something that you're not proud of, that you're ashamed of, that makes you feel guilty, that just depresses you anytime you think about it. But until you let go, until you change your perspective that you have to forgive yourself and you have to do it now, and it has to be now, and it's your decision. You have the key, you have the control. Life may become very difficult. Unforgiveness destroys us from within. It destroys us. It destroys our relationship with people. It destroys things around us. It affects others. It embitters us. It makes us live in rage, in vengeance, in bitterness. You don't want that. Life is already difficult. I'm encouraging you today. Forgive. It's not easy. I'm not undermining your pain. I'm not undermining your hurt. I'm not undermining the scars. But we cannot just live on the past. We have to press forward. We have to live for tomorrow. We have to keep living. We have to move on. That names that pops up when we talk about forgiveness. That incident pops up again. Don't let it depress you today. Forgive. Make up your mind. Say, I am going to forgive this person today. There was a time I had to release everyone from my heart. Since then, my life has been better. Forgive. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is your decision. Forgiveness is now. How do we go about it again? First of all, change your perspective. Forgive. Forgive. Yes, it's painful. Yes. I pray that as you go to your day-to-day activities, that God will increase your capacity to forgive, to love, for your forgiveness to know no bounds. I pray that God will lighten your heart so that you can just let go whatever has been trying to press you down. Your assignment for this week is to forgive and release. God bless you. Thank you once again for listening. God bless you, and remain blessed and inspired.